Hello everyone, this is Trent Smith, your Director of Data Management at the Delta Institute. And we are here to follow up on our session from the Instructional Staff Conference very quickly. I know there's a lot of eagerness to know what we're going to do after the demise of OSAT. And so we've been working very hard on the instructional team to come up with an OSAT replacement that still allows us to track everything we need to in terms of data with clarity and with intentionality. So what you can see right now on your screen is a Google spreadsheet, and we're going to specifically be looking at the entering fourth grade spreadsheet. Shout out to Ganesh and Emma. They did an awesome job with their ISAT assessment and unit plan, and so I've been able to backwards plan this tracker from all of the information that they produced. So you can see on this welcome page links down the left-hand side that would link each corner to their specific tracker, whether that is attendance, mastery, or growth, our approach to data and our values of love, growth, clarity, and intentionality, and then also how this data relates to our priorities, what our goals are around this data, and how that data really can ignite a circle of change at Institute. The first tracker that core members have access to is their daily classroom attendance tracker. And so school managers will be able to load student first names and student last names into this sheet. And then through an array formula, all of the names are going to populate over to every other tracker that this collab is using to make sure that our data, once again, is clear and it's accurate and we're avoiding error. So each student's name is entered, and then you'll see the dates running across here in row 7, and it will be up to each core member to take attendance for their students for the day, entering a 0 if the student is present and a 1 if the student is absent. So let's say Monday, June 28th, Lee is present, that's a 0. John is present, that's a 0. Lily is absent, that's a 1, and you can see that her total absences calculate in conditional formatting to give a flag for us. And you can also see that the daily classroom absences calculate and give an additional flag through conditioning formatting for us. The next tab that core members are going to see is their mastery tracker. And since this is a fourth grade elementary tracker, there is one for math and there's one for literacy. There would not be separate tabs for a secondary taught subject. So once again, you can see that the names are auto-populating here through the array formula. And then you also see in row 8, the dates are populated, and in row 11, the specific objectives taught on that date are populated. So as a core member, they would take their exit tickets aligned to that objective for the day, and then enter in their score. It must be on a 100-point scale, because that's going to allow us to get a percentage that we can easily interpret as coaches and as core members. And so if I'm inputting my exit ticket data for Friday, June 24th, the objective was about students solving word problems. They were using manipulatives, pictures, and equations. And Lily got a 90 on that objective. Christine got an 85. And once again, you can automatically see that the running averages for each student are populating. And then at the very top, the daily classroom average, how the entire classroom performed on average on that objective, is populating as well. And this daily classroom average is what core member advisors will be putting into program tracker on a daily basis. So we're aggregating this data at a high level and then able to cut it to look for trends across school sites as well. We've talked about attendance tracking, mastery tracking, and the last thing that we'll be tracking in the Delta Institute student tracker is growth. And so on the growth tab, this is going to look a little bit different depending on your content. So specifically for the elementary classes and for this entering fourth class, they'll have a math performance assessment. And so core members will be entering the data from that pre-test and the post-test. You can see on the pre-test here, row 8 has the objectives that question number 1 is testing, and then it has a STEM as a quick reference for that question. And then you can see it's on a 4-point scale, and so core members will know that specifically for this math performance diagnostic. And so it's on a 4-point scale, so we can see on the pretest, it looks like on all of the questions, Lee scored a 1 on the rubric, and so over here in column C, it's going to give her a percentage. So she scored a 25% on the diagnostic. Then it's going to automatically calculate her growth goal. And remember, her growth goal is what is going to achieve to get her halfway to 100 in terms of closing the gap that she has from her pretest and what she needs to earn 100 to close that gap halfway. So she needs to get a 63% increase, or she needs to earn a 63% to meet her growth goal, meaning she needs to increase her score by 38%. And so then at the end of Institute, core members will put their scores in for the same questions and objectives again. Those will repeat. And so we can see here on the post-test, Lee got straight 3s across the board, which gave her a post-test score of a 75%, which means she actually grew 50 percentage points. She only needed to grow 38, she grew 50. And did she meet her growth goal? It will automatically tell us yes or no in terms of their goals. Also, something that you'll see on these trackers is cells that are this light green. Cells that are light green can be edited by core members. Any cell that is not light green is uneditable, and this is so that way, once again, we have clarity across all of our trackers. They're not varying collab to collab, and that we are getting as accurate data to measure growth as possible. And also the exciting thing about Google Spreadsheets is you can export if you'd like to dig into the data a little bit differently. And then finally, as I said, elementary, they will have 2 growth trackers because not only are they tracking the math performance assessment, but they're also tracking the STAR math and literacy test. And so you can see here that core members will put in their pre-test STAR math results and pre-test STAR literacy results because it was formerly a green cell, as you can see. So they'll put that information in. And then over here, we'll populate what their growth goal is, which for our STAR test is a 1/10 of a point in addition to their pretest. And then once the post-test data is entered in, we're going to see how much growth was made, and then it's going to once again tell us, was that growth goal met for math? Was that growth goal met for literacy? So that one's pretty straightforward. We could obviously do it in our head because it's just a 1/10 of a point, but we also will have it tracked here in terms of sharing data with our districts. So I wanted to make sure in terms of pushing us forward in clarity, in terms of pushing us forward in our love with data and wanting to grow in our understanding of Data Institute, and give everyone this preview as the ISATs are being finalized, refined, and finished. Trackers are being built, backwards planned from those ISATs, and I'm very excited to make sure that the planning that we're doing, the trackers we're creating, can also foster a love of data in our staff at Institute and in our core members. I'll see you on the ground at Institute. Thank you.